Alright, so in this problem, I have x to the power of x to the power 4 is equal to 64. So I need to find the value of x here. So for my solution, I'm going to first start by taking the power of 4 on both sides. So now I have x to the power of x to the power of 4 to the power of 4 is equal to 64 to the power of 4. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is the same thing as a to the power of n to the power of m. So I can switch the places of m and n here. So in this case, we can think of x to the power 4 here as m and 4 as n. So if I switch the places of these two, I get x to the power 4 to the power of x to the power 4 is equal to 64 to the power of 4. Now I'm going to replace 64 with 8 squared. So now I have x to the power of 4 to the power of x to the power of 4 is equal to 8 squared to the power of 4. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m times n. So a to the power of 2 to the power of 4, that's going to equal a to the power of 2 times 4, which is equal to a to the power of 8. So I have x to the power of 4 to the power of x to the power of 4 is equal to a to the power of 8. Now I'm going to let x to the power of 4 equal to the variable y. So now I have y to the power of y is equal to a to the power of 8. And if I have something from a to the power of a is equal to b to the power of b, this means that a is equal to b, meaning y is equal to 8. Now remember how we let x to the power of 4 equals y. So if x to the power of 4 equals y and y equals 8, then this means that x to the power of 4 is equal to 8. So now to solve this equation, I'm going to take the fourth root on both sides. So the fourth root of x to the power of 4 is x, and so I have x is equal to fourth root of 8. So now to check, my original equation was x to the power of x to the power of 4 is equal to 64. X is equal to fourth root of 8, so now I have fourth root of 8 to the power of fourth root of 8 to the power of 4 is equal to 64. Now the fourth root of 8 to the power of 4 is simply 8, so now I have fourth root of 8 to the power of 8 is equal to 64. Now, this is the same thing as 8 to the power of 8 over 4 is equal to 64, meaning 8 to the power of 2 is equal to 64, and 64 equals 64. So this is right. Alright, so in this problem, I have x to the power of 3 plus x is equal to 10. So to solve this, I'm going to first start by subtracting 10 on both sides. So now I have x to the power of 3 plus x minus 10 is equal to 0. Now negative 10, that's the same thing as negative 8 minus 2. So now I'm going to switch the order of these and rewrite this as x to the power of 3 minus 8 plus x minus 2 is equal to 0. So now 8 is the same thing as 2 to the power of 3. So now I have x to the power of 3 minus 2 to the power of 3 plus x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of 3 minus b to the power of 3, this is equal to a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. So in this case, x to the power of 3 minus, x to the power of 3 minus 2 to the power of 3, I can rewrite as x minus 2 times x squared plus 2x plus 2 squared, which is 4, plus x minus 2 is equal to 0. So now if I factor out x minus 2, I get x minus 2 times x squared plus 2x plus 4 plus 1 is equal to 0, which is the same thing as x minus 2 times x squared plus 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. So now to solve this, I have two equations. I get x minus 2 is equal to 0, and x squared plus 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. So for x minus 2 equals 0, x is obviously equal to 2, so this is one solution. And for x squared plus 2x plus 5 equals 0, I can use the quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So in this case, b is equal to 2. So I have negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared, which is 4, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 5, all over 2a, so 2. Now this is the same thing as negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus 20 over 2, which is equal to negative 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 16 over 2. Now the square root of negative 16 is the same thing as the square root of 16 times the square root of negative 1, and the square root of negative 1 is equal to an imaginary number I. So negative 2 plus or minus the square root of, square root of 16, which is 4, times I. I is the square root of negative 1 over 2, which is equal to negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 2i. So two more solutions. Alright, so in this problem, I have x squared minus y squared is equal to x minus y squared. So to start, I'm going to first start by expanding x minus y squared. So now I have x squared minus y squared is equal to x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. So now these two x squared cancel out if I subtract x squared on both sides. So now I have negative y squared is equal to negative 2xy plus y squared. And now I'm going to add y squared on both sides and add 2xy on both sides. These two cancel out, these two cancel out, and I have 2xy is equal to 2y squared. Now I'm going to subtract 2y squared on both sides. These two cancel out, and I get 2xy minus 2y squared is equal to 0. Now I can factor out 2y. So now I have 2y times x minus y is equal to 0. So now this gives me two equations. I have 2y is equal to 0, and I also have x minus y is equal to 0. So for 2y equals 0, this means that y is equal to 0. And if x minus y equals 0, this means that x is equal to y, and remember y equals 0, so x is also equal to 0. So both of these variables are equal to 0. Now, I have another method of solving this. I have x squared minus y squared is equal to x minus y squared. So now, I'm going to rewrite x squared minus y squared as x plus y times x minus y. And now, I'm going to divide both sides by x minus y. So then these two cancel out, and I'm left with x plus y is equal to x minus y. Now, I have x plus y equals x minus y, and I can cancel these two x's out. So now I have y is equal to negative y, meaning 2y is equal to 0, and y is equal to 0. So again, I get y equals 0. So now to check, I had x squared minus y squared is equal to x minus y squared. If both of these are equal to 0, then I have 0 minus 0 is equal to 0 minus 0 squared, meaning 0 equals 0.